So does Mark just not eat produce of any kind?
Will you eat carrots or broccoli?
For dinner?
Yeah. Will you try them?
Sure.
Perfect.
Mark is not a shark. He's a goldfish. He's a tadpole, a minnow. Mark the minnow. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 12. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and if anybody's going to be watching Married at First Sight Australia, you might as well watch the reviews that I've already done. We are going to start with Mark the minnow and Lindsay. So Mark creates a day-to-day task board in an attempt to make each day move a little bit smoother, right? And even though Lindsay is quick to go into her take charge role that she always does, she allows Mark to make a few choices.
Should we find something that we want to watch and watch together?
Probably, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
How does she not see that she has a takeover spirit? Do people with takeover spirit just... Actually, yeah, I would assume that they just don't see it. And it's sad because it's like, that's the biggest issue in their relationship. He genuinely wants to make this thing work with this woman. He just wants to see himself in the marriage. He wants to be an equal partner. And if she's constantly being a dictator, there's never going to be equal playing field for them, right? So like, literally, if you could just back off a little bit, it'd be cool. But then on the other hand, I'm like, this man doesn't even want to eat broccoli. So maybe he does need somebody who's it's just chaos, man. So as they're going meal prep shopping, Mark is stressed about the budget, well, because he isn't working right now, so he's afraid of, money depleting too quickly. But like, she's looking at produce and he is stressed.
Pears?
No.
Butternut squash?
No.
Eggplant?
No.
Bacon?
Baby, we can't eat Hungry Man every day. Hungry Man is not a daily occurrence. Hungry Man is, dang, I'm on the road. I got nothing else to eat, but I want a proper meal, Maybe they got a microwave in the 7-Eleven or something. Hungry Man is not a daily meal. You need to buy some real fruits and vegetables, some roughage, all right? Come on, sir. Produce is expensive, though. I will give him that. Produce is expensive. And she did go over the budget, which was his fear. But, babe, throw in some celery. Throw in a bushel of... Is the lettuce in a bushel? A bushel of spinach, a bushel of kale, a bundle? All of it. Just throw in a couple greens. So not only does Mark... Yo, Lindsay is so brutal. Not only does Mark not eat vegetables... He doesn't know how to do the laundry right. He doesn't want to get a job. He touches everybody's cats, his included, except Lindsay's.
He has never been consistent. He is falling short in every way. And then he's not giving me any actions that show me in any way or form that he cares for me.
She's basically calling him out for being a poor excuse of a man. And I'm just like, there is no way you think this can be a way to sustain a relationship. You're constantly coming for his manhood. And there's a way to address the things that he's not picking up on without hitting below the belt. I think he ruined her sheets or her clothes or something like that. And okay, it's frustrating, but let's be constructive in the way that we address it, right? And then when it comes to, him not touching your cootie cat, I mean, if you really want to hit a man's ego, you target his sexuality. And you've done that on multiple occasions now. Honestly, kudos to Mark for even wanting to still make it work. Because me, I would have been gone a long time. So Mark meets up with, I think it was his friend. And basically he's saying that he's afraid to speak up. He's afraid to share his frustration, essentially because she has a history, not only in their relationship, but in the past, of feeling unheard, feeling like people were yelling at her and all this stuff. And so because she has trauma, he can't address his issues. This is not a way to live, all right? Trauma is not your fault, but it's your responsibility. So to put the onus on Mark, who has his own traumas, his own wants and desires in this relationship, To be constantly aware that you are easily triggered about certain things is unfair. Especially because it seems like his voice has been stifled. It seems like you don't care what his desires are. It doesn't matter because if Lindsay is not impressed, then the world cannot go on. Girl, a partnership with anybody is gonna fail like that, okay? So Lindsay plans this whole Shark family photo shoot. And while Mark is trying to explain himself, like really taking the advice of his friend, just like, just put it all out there, she is like shutting him down at every corner. And basically, if she's not happy, nobody can be happy.
Not once are you looking at this of where can I do better and where did I go wrong? I get like, well, if that's what you think, fine. I'll do what you want if that's what you want. And
it just blows my mind how this woman is unable to see beyond herself. And I'm not calling her a narcissist, but she has a lot of narcissistic characteristics. If Lindsay is not impressed, if Lindsay is not sexually satisfied, if Lindsay does not get accountability from somebody, if Lindsay, then the whole world must halt. And Lindsay, unfortunately, life does not go like that. You have to be cognizant of your partner's feelings, your partner's desires. And at your big age, it's embarrassing that you don't see that. And for you to honestly be dumbfounded that at this age you have been able to find a person, watch the season back. Watch the season back. This is why you're single. All right. So she gets her coat and she leaves, but the photographer does arrive while she's gone. And so Mark is like, okay, well, I guess it's just going to be me and the kids. But eventually she does come back. And even with an attitude still, they had another fight, but I don't have the energy to go into it. They end up taking their little, crazy cat couple photos. And then she goes back to being salty. And I'm like, hey, girl, we're done with you. So I'm just going to move on. Up next is Noi and Steve. And they take Sushi out for a bath. And Noi, the immaturity on this episode. Noi thinks that if he shows that he's a good dog dad, that'll mean that he's a good human dad.
I think that's like a surefire way to see if somebody really is ready to have children. I'm so happy about Sushi finally having a dad.
Taking care of a pet is not a foolproof way of testing if somebody is going to be a good parent. And I only want criticism for people who have both dogs and children. Both are difficult, but it's not the same thing. Not by any means. I know a lot of people who have dogs who cannot handle being a parent. I know a lot of people who are parents who don't want the hassle of a dog. Like a plethora of responsibilities come with both lifestyles, but it in no way is an equal transaction. All right. Transaction is not the word, but it makes sense in the context that I'm using it in my head. Okay. So don't worry about it. So Steve meets up with Mark and they both connect on their mutual lack of employment.
I have plenty of savings. I'm contributing 3 or 4 times as much. I'm not asking her to contribute more. I think there's a perception problem, and I think there's a future problem.
So they're both sharing that they're concerned about their wives' fixation on the future, right? And how overwhelming it is. But Steve even says getting a job will stifle his vision of the future and his creative energy. Every job, you can't find an artistically free job where you have artistic freedom. That's what I meant to say. It's getting a job is going to hinder you from seeing where the future is for the two of. What? Sir. So he's here saying, I want her to make a plan of what are we going to do if I get the job? Are we going to buy a house? Are we going to do this and that and this and that? How about we can save and actually have plan options? Because right now there are no options. There's no, continuous income coming in as we understand their storyline at this point. So how are you going to wait for her to make a plan when it's up to... Let me not crack my head over foolishness. That doesn't make any sense. So a few weeks back, Steve was flaunting how, him being home all the time means that he can be the perfect house husband. And he was flaunting it in her face. Oh, you want me to go to work? Then you're not going to have a clean house. You're not going to have hot meals and whatever. But now all of a sudden, he wants to split the chores.
No, I think you should do it all.
Yeah, no,
While I'm
I don't
working.
think that.
It's always like a discussion about what I'm not doing, but then it's never a discussion about what he's not doing.
He says that the reason why he wants to split certain things is because he's feeling really unappreciated. Regardless of whether or not you feel appreciated, I'm so sorry, sir, you don't go to work. The least you could do is make sure the apartment is clean. I hear him. I do. It is frustrating to do things around the house that are not obligatory. You're doing it out of your, well, you could argue that it is obligatory because you're the person who doesn't have responsibilities outside of house stuff. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all think he's throwing a fit? Y'all think he's justified? He also thinks that Noi came into the marriage with certain responsibilities, namely having to take care of Sushi, and that she should resume doing those things. And she's again like, okay, but you are always here doing nothing. I don't know. Y'all let me know, because I thought I had an opinion on this, but I don't know. So Noi comes out of nowhere saying that she's not ready to move in together after decision day.
There's plenty of married couples that stay in separate places too. I don't think it means that you're any less committed just because like you're like, I have an apartment that I go stay in once a week.
What happened? I thought you left him. I thought you wanted him to take care of the household. I thought you were ready to prepare for your 3 kids. What's going on? What's happening? She says that because in a past relationship, she was basically left high and dry. She doesn't want that to happen again, which is valid. I think her fear makes sense. My problem with her fear is that it doesn't align with the words that she's been saying. You know, she wants him to think about the future. She wants the 3 kids. She wants the working husband. She wants all these things. But then now when it's like, okay, so what are we going to do after this? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Don't want to do it. No, I make it make sense. Right. And also Steve had asked that she stop the social media thing, but she did go back on social media and she posted this right here, which could be about the marriage, could not be about the marriage. But either way, it did make Steve feel insecure. Noi's immaturity is going to be an issue. His unemployment is going to be an issue. Well, okay, let me not say his unemployment. His lack of funds coming in consistently is going to be an issue. And her immaturity is going to be an issue because you can't keep running and telling the whole world your issues and not dealing with it in-house. You know what I mean? Both Noi and Steve are waiting on each other to make a list or to really, you know, carve out an image of what the future is going to look like. But they're both overwhelmed about thinking about the future. If y'all don't get your ass together, I can't with these couples. Like, I felt like there was so much hope at the beginning, and the further we get into the season, the more it looks depressing. We're gonna move on to Mike and Jasmina. And it turns out, Miss, you should be grown enough at your big age to know how to communicate with other adults. It doesn't even know how to drive. This is a basic life skill as an adult. Whether or not you have a car, knowing how to drive, in my opinion, is something that every adult should know how to do. And I thought it was rich that this woman who came for him about certain things that he should know as an adult, she's out here not even knowing how to drive. Also, she had a lot of long distance relationships. How did those work? Was the person always like too far to drive and they had to fly or something? Or were they always driving to you? I have more questions than I have answers.
If another driver cuts you off in traffic, what do you do?
Flip them off.
There you go. That's my girl. No.
Oh.
She does, however, share that she has been in some car accidents, which, you know, I understand. I've been in car accidents as well, as recently as some weeks ago. And I understand the hesitance, but babes, come on. So Mike plans a driving course for her, which has him on edge.
I want you to fill in the gas.
Where's the gas?
What?
Sorry, my foot slipped. Why are you holding on?
just my protection.
I do like that they've been able to have these cute moments together. It's better than seeing them constantly at each other's throat. And she shares that, you know, she's growing to enjoy being in his presence, but doesn't necessarily see the affection growing or the romance or the attraction. And I would agree. I think that they've gotten into a good groove with each other. And he did say he's feeling her, but she ain't feeling him. She's really not feeling him. And I think that this is the height of where their relationship could go. I will genuinely be stunned if they end up continuing after decision day. I would genuinely be stunned. So while Mike thinks that they're making progress, Jasmina is sharing with her mom that attraction is at a standstill.
You know, it's been a month and I don't have feelings for him.
He's aware that the physical attraction, the physical relationship hasn't been strong between them, but I don't think he truly understands that she's not into it's not, no. You know, I think there's one thing to be like, okay, yeah, we haven't gotten to the level that I typically would be, but I know that my girl got a crush on me. I know that my girl's feeling me. I know that she'd be looking at me lustfully and stuff. She don't even do that. Because remember a few weeks ago, she said, I don't even get wet for you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know if I see it for them in the long run, to be honest. Later on, they do cook to kind of build the romance. And in this little activity, Mike does admit to not having put in as much effort in the beginning as he is now.
In the moment, I was telling myself, this isn't working because we just aren't communicating well, or she just doesn't understand me, as opposed to saying, like, what can you be doing to give this marriage a shot?
I think it's a great step in the right direction. At least she can see, like, okay, so there's a reason why we were at odds so much at the beginning, and now maybe there's potential. But if she can't get past the I'm not into him thing, it's pointless. Last but not least, we have Ola and Katina. Always a hot mess between these two. So Katina visits Jasmina and Mike to talk about the dating app situation and how it was idle. And even when he opened it, it opened up to the login page. Like she wasn't even signed in, right? And Mike tries to explain to her that he being Ola, is unable to express himself because, you know, heat of the moment, sometimes it's really hard to see yourself outside of the anger and, you know, just give it a chance, just wait it out, blah, 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 blah.
The fact that he did it 100% say, you know what, I'm done. He didn't say that.
I'm going to need everybody to stop making excuses for Olajuwon. Stop making excuses for an adult who has the capability to communicate, and at every chance he gets, chooses not to, wants to lash out, and thinks it'll be okay because he will apologize and inevitably be forgiven. It's disgusting to see, honestly. Because even in the scene, you have Jasmina who said that he's the type to not have a filter when he's upset. So that means I should be verbally berated? I should just take it because, oh, he's mad. He's gonna get over it. Disgusting. O talks to Mike and basically he wants Katina to think about her actions more.
I want her to really think about what she's done and how I feel as her husband. Until you could apology and just be 100 on taking a full responsibility, you could, whatever you say, to me, it's still an excuse.
He thinks that because he changed his hair to something that she would find more attractive and because he deleted Instagram so that he wouldn't be distracted, that she must now fall in line. Are you a drill sergeant? Are you a commanding officer? What is this? I cannot stand him. He then says that she has common sense and she knows right from wrong. If this is the case, if you truly believe that she has common sense and she knows right from wrong, stop trying to micromanage her at every turn. For somebody who you say you respect, you say you're going in love with, you say has common sense and you believe in her, you're really showing us that you don't, because you would leave her to her own devices and let her be her own woman, but no, you want to control her. I don't even know why, like, I am so triggered because it's not happening to me, but like I see it happen too many damn times. And to just see so many people make excuses for Ola, it's just infuriating. And it only gets worse because when Ola meets up with his coach is yet another enabler.
And getting mad isn't a bad thing, right? That's
Means I care for her.
Like,
He really said, me being mad shows that I care. Me being mad shows that I care. I'm not making light of people in DV situations, but I would bet big bucks that in those relationships, similar verbiage has been spewed, if not verbatim. And that is disgusting. So I have a question for the people who, know more about ADHD or maybe have it and are watching this. Is being brash a part of having ADHD? Because if it is, let's get that in check. All right? And if it isn't, throw his ass in the trash. I'm done with him. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt only because I know that he has ADHD, and maybe this is something that comes with being a person living with ADHD. However, if it's not, cut the cameras, dead ass. We're done.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
Katina then meets up with her sister-in-law, I think it was, and she fills her in on all the issues that they're having. And she says that before decision day, 1, she wants to consummate the marriage, and 2, she wants to see if she can deal with Ola's antics long-term. Honestly, babes, the fact that you've just been letting him verbally beat you down all this time when he was a stranger, I'm sure once feelings are involved, you're still gonna let it happen. So hey, enjoy. Katina plans a Taco Tuesday, right? And all of a sudden, it's like her not being able to cook is not an issue. And I'm like, babe, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, these have always been a thing.
One more.
Lean it right in there. Wow, look how that looks. This looks so good.
I brought the restaurant to us.
Now, don't get me wrong. Just like Jasmina, this is a basic life skill, all right? Not to say that you should be an amazing cook, but you should at least know how to cook so you can sustain yourself. You know what I mean? When the pandemic happened, everybody was learning how to bake bread. Where were you? Where was Katina when everybody was learning how to make vegan food with Tabitha Brown? What happened? But to her credit, there's no need for a woman to be able to throw down in the kitchen, at least not every day, because there are such, services like the food delivery things, right? So yeah, that is this episode. Honestly, like, if I was to put faith in any relationship, no, I have more faith in Chris and Alyssa. I have more faith in Chris and Alyssa than any of these people left in the process. So we'll see how the season ends, child. Yeah. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.